This segment of DelmarvaLife is brought to you by Ocean City Department of Tourism.
You know, I don't think anybody could make a visit to Springfest without a walk down the famous Ocean City Boardwalk.
You know, Jimmy, it really is the centerpiece of the Ocean City experience. With 2.5 miles of shops, restaurants, and hotels, there's little chance you'll run out of things to do. But it didn't start out that way. In 1892, it was just a few pieces of wood laid across the sand to get from the hotels to the beach. Despite a massive fire in 1925 and a major storm in 1933, the boardwalk continued to grow.
Over the years, it expanded as the town expanded. It went up to 9th Street for a while, about that area. And then when the Commander Hotel was built in 1930 on 14th Street, the boardwalk didn't even go that far. So later on, it expanded to 15th Street, and then I would say by about 1960s, it made it all the way to 27th Street.
In 1991, the town built a massive seawall to protect the boardwalk from storms, and more recently, the boardwalk was given an entire overhaul with new boards.
That is a lot of boards. And something else that's been on the boardwalk since almost the very beginning, Trimpers. The Trimper family was the very first to build a resort in Ocean City, and then the fun began. Oh yeah, this is the timeless carousel at Trimper's Rides and Amusements. It's been a beach favorite for more than 100 years.
It's a majorette carousel, which means it isn't just horses. We have lions, tigers, we have giraffes, we have ostrich, cats, dogs, anything you can think of. We have all sorts of different animals on the merry-go-round.
By the way, all of those animals were hand-carved. Aren't they beautiful?
Over 100 years. That's a lot of kids and a lot of wear and tear, and they still look like new.
Well, we can thank Ocean City native Maria Schlick for that. Her job, keeping these timeless classics looking good as new. Maria Schlick of West Ocean City is putting the finishing touches on this scary creature before it heads back to the haunted house at Trimper's on the boardwalk. It's something she's been doing since 1980.
Granville asked me one time if I would be interested in restoring their carousel. And my brother and I asked if my brother could work with me because those animals are large and I needed somebody to help me out, and he hired the two of us.
Maria says although the carousel had been painted over the years, the animals had never been fully restored, a job that ended up becoming quite an undertaking.
We stripped all the paint off of them. We primed them, painted them. And I like the old world look to a carousel, and that's where we chose rich, nice colors, you know, very bold colors, something that's also fun for kids.
But Maria also wanted the work to be true to the animals, so she took time to really research each animal's markings. That dedication paid off. Maria and her brother were asked to stay on with Trimpers to keep the carousel looking brand new.
They have a lot of wear on them, especially the jumpers, the ones that go up and down. The stationary ones, the ones up front, they have the jewels on them. They're a lot fancier, and not very many people really ride them, so they stay pretty undamaged.
But it wasn't just the carousel that needed Maria's attention.
I learned how to do signs. I never knew how to do signs, but I learned real quick.
For the past 3 decades, Maria has created and recreated signs throughout the park, giving them the same attention to detail as she does the carousel. Through the years, Mr. Trimper has given Maria some creative freedom, allowing her to create original works of art that can only be found here, all the while expanding her artistic abilities.
He believed in me, and when somebody believes in you, you don't want to disappoint that person, so you work hard. And while you're working hard, you also learn, and you learn different things, and it's never boring.
And that's what brings us back to this half-bat, half-dragon creature Maria's working on in her driveway. It's made of fiberglass, something Maria didn't learn how to work with when she went to art school. That is until Granville asked her to.
Granville brought a gallon of fiberglass, and he brought a stiff from the haunted house, and he said it needed a little repair work. And he put the fiberglass down, and he's asked my brother and myself, can you do this type of work, fiberglass work? And my brother piped up and said, sure. So Granville left, and I asked my brother, I said, can you fiberglass? He says no, but the directions are right on the can.
Keeping up with the needs of Trimpers had kept Maria busy, especially since losing her brother a few years back. Inside her house, you'll find other works of art that she's managed to create. But if you want to see her full repertoire, you need to go no further than the Ocean City Boardwalk.
It's stressful, but it keeps you going. It keeps your heart pumping. It keeps you motivated. It keeps you going and getting up in the morning early. And while I'm working on one thing, I'm thinking of how to do the next thing. And sometimes I'll work on 2 to 3 jobs at the same time, because while something is drying, I will switch over to something else and be working on that. And then when that's dry, I will swing over to the other side and work. So things get done.
And at an age where most people are already retired and slowing down, Maria shows no signs of letting up.
Full-time jobs in the art field are just hard to find. So I'm just so glad that I found one here.
By the way, Maria and her brother were not the only artists in the family. You may remember meeting Maria's sister Tina back in April. She showed me how to make Ukrainian eggs. Tina and Maria's parents were immigrants from the Ukraine, but Maria says neither of them were particularly artistic.
Well, it takes both art and skill to make something as awe-inspiring as this. Coming up, we're going to talk with the man behind these beautiful works of art, what inspires him to create them decade after decade, and what simple message he hopes you'll get out of them.
Plus, you'll not want to let this exhibit pass through your fingers. We'll tell you how you can experience tiny particles from around the world without leaving Ocean City.
And a little bit later on, it's time to make the crab cakes. You're going to see me learn firsthand what it takes to make enough of these seafood delights fit for a whole weekend festival warrior. DelmarvaLife Springfest 2015. We'll be right back.